morning, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And here we go. Here we go. The aftermath of the Shedeur circus, and the circus will continue. Shedeur Sanders yesterday with the Cleveland Browns defeated the Las Vegas Raiders. It's still hard for me to, all these city changes and all this other stuff. It's just bizarre. But they beat the Raiders yesterday, 24-10. Look, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to say, well, he only beat the Raiders. You play who is on your schedule. Did he play all that great? Meh. He threw for 209 yards. He threw a TD. He threw another pick. 87.3 QB rating. I mean, it was better than the 13 he put up last week. But his completion percentage is, it was 55% yesterday. It's still 41% for the season so far. He's thrown more picks than TDs. His quarterback rating is 52. That's not good at all. But he did the most important thing that a quarterback or a team has to do, and they got the win. And that's all you can say. But there are people, fans, people who aren't even fans of the Cleveland Browns, and a certain element of the media, the sports media, who are now anointing this guy as the next fucking Dan Marino. I mean, I was reading some quotes yesterday, some tweets yesterday, where people are saying he's the best quarterback in the league. Get his jacket ready, his gold jacket for Canton. He's going to take the Cleveland Browns where no quarterback has ever taken the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I guess these people haven't heard of Otto Graham. That he's going to be the alpha and omega of the NFL and for the coming years. And that's absolutely ridiculous. He won a game yesterday. He really didn't beat a great team, but like I said, you play who's on your schedule. But he didn't look all that good. I mean, he had a beautiful pass. Jason Whitlock downplayed it to a nice pass. I think it was a very nice, very good pass for, I think it was like over 50 yards. Okay, great. Now he's got to do it again. And next week ain't going to be so easy. Next week is going to probably be a lot more difficult. Because next week, Shedeur goes up against my San Francisco 49ers. And for Shedeur, he should thank sweet baby Jesus that Bosa and Fred Warner are not going to be there. Because they are not. The Raiders have Crosby, and he's great. But that's all they got on defense. Next week will be, if he puts up good, now he won't beat the 49ers with those numbers. But if he plays well next week, it's going to be an absolute shit show on these sports channels because all of these dudes with a certain melanin infusion in their skin are just going berserk on this guy. And we're going to show you some clips. But first, I want to show you a clip of the press conference yesterday of Shedeur as he claps back. And look at his hoodie. There's already an image of him on the hoodie. They are going out of control. This is out of control. And the problem is that so much money has been put into this guy for marketing commercially that it's almost like he has to succeed. And that's going to be way too much pressure for him. I don't think, and I'm not a talent evaluator, I'm not a scout, but I just don't see this kid doing all that well in the NFL. But again, it's only one game. Let's see what he does next week. Because if he beats the 49ers next week, and I don't think they will, you're going to see madness on ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and all these sports podcasts with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco and Shady McCoy and all these motherfuckers who are just anointing this homeboy as Jesus incarnate in football pads, and that's just out of line. I mean, there are probably what 25 quarterbacks that are just playing much better than he is right now. And again, it's only one game. I don't want to get too far ahead. But let's hear Shedeur in his victorious press conference yesterday as he claps back at his critics. Take it away, Shedeur.
Everybody could analyze, everybody could say everything from the sideline. You could watch TV, everything. You could talk on TV, whatever you want to do. But until you get out there and you do it, then it's different. Going out there, with, only practice with the $100 and everything, like, that's different. It's a lot of vet quarterbacks, that had their time and everything that were backups and was able to get thrown in the game and be all right. But I don't think that was like that in their rookie year. That's a difference, Like, that's different, and I'm thankful for that experience because that helped me get to where I am today. That helped me go into the game very comfortable, knowing that they got a great defense with the Ravens, knowing the different looks, how they could be confusing to the naked eye. But that's why during the game I was smiling so much because I'm like, oh, yeah, if this what it is, I know I'm going to be able to accept that challenge and move forward one day and be able to have success. So that's the mentality I went with going and prepping for this week.
So there's Shedeur, and he was confident. He was smiling, and he's clapping back at his critics. And listen, right now he can gloat. He can gloat all he wants right now. It's all about what he does next week and for the weeks after that, because if he's a bust, there are going to be people who are going to relish in the opportunity to tear this kid up. And I mean, the whole thing yesterday, I don't know if you saw the game, but the whole thing after the game where he does the thing with his arms or whatever, every time he gets intercepted or every time he gets sacked or every time he doesn't convert on a third or fourth down, these NFL players, these defensive guys are going to just mock him with that. And Eric Mangini, who should have been a great head coach in the NFL, he has concerns. And his concerns after the press conference are valid. Let's hear what Manginius has to say.
Coach, Browns needed a win. They got to win. Were you a fan of the comments from Browns' new starting quarterback?
Why? That's how we got here, right? Isn't it? That's how we kind of ended up in the 5th round because of talking like that, because of presenting yourself like that, and I get it. You want to be confident, and that's fine. You should be confident, but you don't need to take it to this level. And it's one of those things where you had 11 completions, and the defense had 10 sacks. You were playing the Raiders, which just fired their offensive coordinator. Things are fairly dysfunctional with that group, and I get it. You had 1 week of practice. Baker Mayfield went to the Rams with less than 48 hours of practice and lit it up when he was there. So 1 week of practice, you were there for OTAs, you were there for training camp, you've been there all season, you've been in every single meeting, you were the backup quarterback, so you had 1 week of practice. How many weeks of practice do you need? So let's see now that you get more than 1 week of practice how dangerous you are. Baker woke up feeling dangerous, and he got shipped out, and then he was with 2 more teams before he became dangerous again. So let's see. I think that there's some value in humbleness. Humbleness is not necessarily a negative trait in the NFL. Confidence is fantastic. It can be contagious, but there's some value also in being somewhat humble and appreciating the opportunities you have, as opposed to making everything adversarial with the current coaching staff.
I don't disagree with what you said. I will give him a pass on the pregame because he was asked, "What are you hoping to do?" So he said, "I'm hoping to show them, the fans and myself, that." What was his direct quote?
I'm what you've been waiting for.
So that's fine.
That's great.
That's fine. If she's like, "What are you hoping to show them?" Now, if she said, "What are you about to do?" and I'm about to show everybody I'm the one they've been waiting for. That's a little different. So I'll give him a pass on that. The post game, I didn't like that. And what I would say to Shedeur is, when you talk this way, you better be great. People did not like Muhammad Ali. Black people, I'm serious. Black people did not like Muhammad Ali when he was Cassius Clay and before he was champion, and he's talking all this stuff, calling the rounds. They didn't like that. But once he proved, he backs it up, then everybody loved it. It became part of his lore. Deion Sanders, his dad, could talk it and walk it. If you can't walk it, then I don't think just fans or media won't like it. I think in your locker room, it won't go well with a lot of players. So that's the thing. When you talk, because I like Shedeur, but when you talk this way, you better be able to back it up. That's all I got to say.
So I have long said I would prefer honest arrogance to false humility in my athletes. If you are.
Who the fuck can listen to this guy? Who can take this dickhead seriously? Nick Wright or whatever the hell it is. This guy is the most vapid fruitcake I have ever seen. Look at him. He looks like a goddamn hippie. He's his black wife kicks his ass. You just know it. And Broussard was right. Mangini was also right. You can't. There's a level of humbleness that you must bring in, because now you're a target, bro. You better back it up. You want to talk shit? You better back it up, because you are now a target. Shedeur Sanders, and I hate to say this, he has a target on his back now. These fucking defenses, these teams are going to look to put him on his ass and embarrass him. And that first team, he's been named starter, is the San Francisco 49ers. If you don't think that team is going to be revved up, as if they need to be revved up, because they're 7th seed right now? They're on the cusp of not making the playoffs, which would be a disaster. They have to win next week. They have to win tonight. They're playing right now. But they definitely have to win that. They probably have to win out, but they definitely have to win next week. They are going to go after this guy like he just robbed their house. So Shedeur better be ready. Because these teams now in December, a lot of these teams that they're going to be facing are looking at playoff spots, position spots, seeding. They're not fucking around in December. And he's going to see hellfire. I'm telling you, he's just going to see it. And look, he's going to be paid a lot of money. And he better be able to back it up. Now, here is the other side of the awful take of the divide that I believe is happening with the Shedeur Sanders case. And I don't believe I'm not going to blame Shedeur Sanders for it. I'm blaming these older guys, Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe's a Hall of Fame player, one of the great tight ends that I've ever seen. Kevin Stefanski, of course, has not press conference, but his post-game chat. And he calls out a lot of players who did a lot of good things. And he calls out his quarterback, but he doesn't do it with enough love, or at least not enough love for old Chad and Shannon. Here's Kevin Stefanski and the boys.
How about Gage's big punt return on special teams? How about Corey, every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job? Great. Corey, how about that big play by Sam at the end? IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold failed making a big play, and then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done. I got one ball in my hand. Okay, I got a guy. He's got to get a cold every week. Okay, he had a cold this week. Wasn't feeling himself. 3 sacks, which gives him 18 on the season through 11 games, which breaks his own Browns record. Myles Garrett. Come on, man.
So hold on. A guy making his first start. A guy that you didn't really want to start. A guy that you didn't even want in your organization.
Right.
And that's all he get. Great job.
Well,
he don't get no game ball?
Nah, he don't get no game ball, Unc. That wasn't his pick. That's not what they want. They don't want him to succeed. You know that. And no disrespect. The owner told you to himself. Even the head coach's guy is Dylan Gabriel. We all understand that. Listen, didn't Shedeur make history tonight?
Yes.
First Browns quarterback as a rookie to start and win after what? Since what?
17. I mean, you got to think about it, Ocho. They've had 42 starting quarterbacks since 1999.
Right.
No quarterback making his first start.
Yeah.
The last 17 have said we didn't get it. They didn't get it done.
Yeah. Listen.
That ain't worth the game ball, Ocho.
It's clear as day now. It's clear as day. Like, I mean, we've been going back and forth about this over and over, nitpicking here and there. And people say, oh, they hate, they're not hating. Oh, Dylan Gabriel. Listen, all that, we know what the play is. The writing is on the wall. It's always been on the wall. When the owner came out and said what he said about this not being my pick, this is brother Drew Berry, right? Is that how you say his name?
Andrew Berry.
Andrew Berry, excuse me. Andrew Berry, it was his pick. It was his idea. I mean, we know what it is. You know, the odds are stacked against you. When the opportunity presents itself, he has to go out there and do what he did.
I don't get it, Ocho. Sometimes you gotta, like Coach used to tell him. Sometimes I gotta fool him. Sometimes you gotta lie to your team.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like Shedeur, even if you want Dylan Gabriel, you won't commit. I get all that, and I get the semantics. I get the scheme of it, Ocho. Well,
Right.
I want them to prepare for both, knowing damn well Dylan Gabriel ain't gonna see that field anytime soon. I get all of that.
Right.
But this notion that this thing is even close, this notion that it just was just a whole hum performance.
Right.
The guy got no snaps with the guys that he played with today until Wednesday of last week.
Yeah.
And he does that on the road in a hostile environment.
Oh,
And all you got for him is that.
So we see the difference. And this is, I'm just wondering if this was, I don't know, just think of some white quarterback. If the coach said, this guy, if Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco would have the same reaction. Probably not. This is black ideology. This is racial ideology. This is where we're at now in media. When you have players, former players who just look at skin color and they root for skin color. They don't root for the guy that is the best for the job. Now, Sanders, of course, still has to prove himself. But if Sanders begins to falter and Dylan Gabriel is ready. Now, Dylan Gabriel sucks too. He can't play either. But if Dylan Gabriel is ready and available and Kevin Stefanski's trying to save his job and he puts Dylan Gabriel in, these guys are going to go fucking ape shit. They are going to want Kevin Stefanski gone at the end of the season, which might happen anyway, which probably will happen anyway. And don't be surprised, do not be surprised if the name Dion pops up to take over as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Then it's going to be an absolute fucking circus, a shit show beyond shit shows. It's ideology that is driving this car right now. Not merit, not talent. It's, we want this quarterback in there. We want this coach out. We believe that this coach doesn't like this guy for whatever reason. He shouldn't be his head coach. He's abusing his talent. How many head coaches have ruined quarterbacks And these guys never said anything. I can name you. Mike Shanahan ruined RG3, even though he was not going to be very good. Kyle Shanahan, his son, is notorious for ruining quarterbacks. Look what he did to Jimmy Garoppolo. Look what he did to Trey Lance. You never heard anything for those guys. But Shedeur, because he has that last name and he's got this marketing swagger, he's just a little different. And it's going to cost Kevin Stefanski his job. And it's going to divide the NFL. I'm telling you, it will divide the NFL into something that we've never seen before, into something very, very ugly. My 49ers will romp next Sunday. God forbid they lose to this guy. They will romp next Sunday. 35-17. I'll give them 7. I'll give the Browns 17 points. 35-17 Niners next week. They won't be able to stop them on offense. And Sanders will probably throw a couple more picks, which would be beneficial for the Niners. And there's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful, my friends. Remember, Satan is always busy. Be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.